is ready to find out the secrets to creating content that sells and doing it in a way that truly connects with your audience through storytelling. Now, if this is you, then by the end of this video, you are going to have my foolproof system on how to do exactly that. I'm an e-commerce sales coach helping hundreds of female entrepreneurs just like you grow their own e-commerce business. Now, for the best advice on growing your e-com business using the Viralocity formula, then subscribe to my channel, hit the bell to be notified every time I post a video on Thursdays. And today I'm going to walk you through my 3 secrets on how to tell stories that connect and convert with your audience. Now, as I was thinking about this topic, I started thinking about how it is that some people, okay, not businesses or brands, but people, how just normal people are able to start to build these large followings and essentially become influencers, right? So I started watching what they were posting and what they were using for their captions, and I compared it to what a lot of brands and businesses, like even what I was doing, what we were actually doing. And there was this one big difference: human connection. People, when they post, they try to connect with their audience, with other people, right? Businesses, when they post, try to sell and flog product, right? Who else feels this or have seen this or even does this? No shame, because I did it for a long time myself, right? But it is a huge difference. So then I dug a little bit deeper, because I know that's easy to say, oh yes, go connect with your audience, right? But how? How can businesses actually go and connect with their audiences effectively? How can they build a brand of loyal fans who just love what it is that they're posting? So, I'm a framework and mechanics kind of gal, so I needed to get under the hood with this. So I started looking at up all of these old YouTube videos of some really effective ads. Yeah, I know I'm a total nerd, but I was actually looking for ads. I wanted to watch these ads, and I was so fascinated because there were just some like beautiful ads. And I mean, I know that's a strange way to describe ads, but they just were, right? And I'm talking about, really big famous ads like Google's Parisian Love ad, Apple's Christmas ad from a few years ago, Wrigley's Extra Gum, I think it's called like Can't Help Falling in Love ad. Like guys, go and look these ads up, okay? Because this was all content that did incredibly well to actually stick in people's minds. I mean, it's definitely stuck in my mind. And so why were these ads so effective? Because of storytelling. These ads told a story. They connected the brand and frankly their product with their audience through storytelling. And when they are able to connect, it becomes memorable. This is what sticks in people's minds. Now, here's the great thing about stories that helps you even if you hate marketing. Even if you hate marketing, you aren't good at copywriting, and you don't like selling, okay? Now, stories, the great thing about stories is that they can potentially carry the entire sale for your product, okay? Even if everything else isn't great with your copy, ad, or sales page, your story can carry it. So, for example, I always think about this movie Top Gun, right? That's the action movie with Tom Cruise about the naval pilots. Now, there was no advertising in the movie, right? It's not like they were getting paid to advertise anything. There were no lingering shots on product logos. Yet, the year after the movie was released, Ray-Ban aviators increased their sales by 40%. 40%? What? And then not only that, but Navy and Air Force recruitment increased by 20%. So that Top Gun story, that movie, sold the dream of being a hotshot fighter pilot, and that's what got people hooked. Okay, let me know if this is making sense. Now, why did it do that? Why did it do that? Because our brains as humans, we are hardwired for story. That's just how we've evolved as humans, right? We think in terms of narratives, not in terms of information. So when we hear a story that's well told, chemicals are actually released and they trigger emotional responses, and they leave us actually wanting more, which means that you might not have a flashy website, or you might not think you're any good at marketing, but if you let your audience in with a story, you can win their hearts. And what that means is that you will win their wallets. Now, If you go look up the Apple Christmas ad or the Wrigley's Extra Gum ad. There isn't actually anything in there that talks about the product. They don't highlight a computer or an iPhone or like they don't talk about it, right? Obviously the product is part of the ad, but they don't talk about it. They don't talk about how great an iPhone is or why you need gum, okay? They don't talk about the features and the benefits. It just incorporates the product as part of a broader story. And I'm going to say right now that learning to tell stories in this way is going to be the biggest game changer in your business, the biggest, hands down. Now, I talk about a few things. So storytelling is definitely one thing that I teach, but the live conversion method is also something I teach. And that is just such an effective way to actually bring your stories to life. To actually talk about it, to go live with your audience, show up for them, talk about your stories, answer their questions, right? That is such a quick, simple, effective way at building that connection with your audience. Now, another way is through your content. Okay, through the things the captions that you write, through the creatives, the photos that you put out there, is a really great way as well to be telling your stories. Okay, so at this point, I kind of knew that the secret sauce was to help us connect with our audience, okay, and do that through storytelling. I could see it being put into action by some brands, big brands, but through ads. Which generally big brands have a lot of money to invest into, right? But that's not the case for us. So then I started thinking about, well, what can we do? What is it that us as small businesses, what can we do to get our stories out there? And that's through content, okay? And that's everyday content that you're posting on your social media, you're sharing in your emails, you have on your website. So the great news is that you're in the right place because I've pulled together these 3 secrets that you need to know in order to tell stories in your content, okay, incorporating your product as part of this broader story. So just like the big brands can do in their ads, you can just do as effectively in your content, in your everyday content, okay? So let's get started because I have 3 secrets to share with you. Okay, so the first secret is knowing who the characters are in your story. And follow me closely when I tell you this. There are 3 characters in your story. Or I should really say 3 types of characters in your story. 3 types of characters in your story. So the first is the hero, the second is the guide, and the third is the pre-hero. Okay, and I know, stick with me, right? But how I want you to think about it is like this. The hero of your story is going to be your customer, okay? It is not you. It is not your product. It is not your brand, okay? I want you to be really, really clear on this because no one likes to read self-centered content, right? But I'm not calling you self-centered, by the way, okay? I know you're not. I just know that when it comes to our products, we can't help but always want to be talking about it because you love it. I totally get it. And trust me, I have been there as well. And I know that by me saying this, you're probably thinking, but, well, Deidre, then when do I talk about the thing that I actually sell? But I always get told to tell my story. You tell me to tell my story, right? Okay, so I'm going to tell you how it all fits in. And it does because you are the guide and you're the pre-hero. Okay, so remember we have 3 types of characters. Your customer is the hero, you are the guide, and the pre-hero. Okay, does that make sense? These are the 3 types of characters. So what does this mean? Now, your hero, so your customer is feeling a symptom or they have a problem that needs to be solved for, or they have an aspiration that they're trying to reach, okay? So it could be that they want inspiring surrounds in their home, or to feel confident through the clothes they wear, or to show off their personality and individuality, gosh, I can't say that word, through their accessories, right? That's where they are right now, which makes them the hero, okay? That they're the hero, they're going through this struggle, this conflict. And more likely than not, you or someone that you know had those exact same symptoms, those problems, or those aspirations. And so right now that makes you their guide. Okay, so you are their Yoda to their Luke Skywalker. You are their Dumbledore to their Harry Potter. You are their Gandalf to their Frodo, okay? Hopefully, does this make sense, guys? You are the guide because you've been there. You've done that. You are where you were where they are now, which means that because they're the hero, you become their guide. And I want to stress how important this is because good content reads and feels like valuable education. Okay, but we don't want to just go in and write a story that automatically ascends us into being the wise guide, okay? We need to make ourselves ordinary and relatable before we then make ourselves extraordinary, okay? And that extraordinariness comes from the fact that you've been able to, or you're maybe in progress, for actually solving that problem or reaching that aspiration that you've identified, okay? And that makes you the guide. Now, your ordinariness, okay, when you first make yourself ordinary, that comes from you being the pre-hero, because you were there yourself, right? You were where your hero is currently, and this is where and how you tell your story. Okay, so your content story starts with your pre-hero journey, and then once you've established that ordinariness and that relatability, because you know exactly how it feels to be where they are right now, that is when you then flip into your extraordinariness, and then you become the guide. And that is when your content, that is when in your content you actually start sharing succinct tips that will actually help them along the way, okay? So it won't be about your product necessarily, but it could be, or it could be tips related to your product, because clearly your product was the solution to help with those symptoms and the problems or aspirations that your customer is currently feeling, that your hero is currently feeling, okay? Hopefully, let me know, guys, in the comments, let me know if that makes sense. Because that then leads me into the second secret, okay, which is to know your end point, okay? What is that realization or that perspective change that you have on that particular topic? So what I want you to do is I want you to think about a time that you were able to feel less pain or maybe more pleasure, okay? It can be big, it can be small. It could be the pleasure of being able to make someone's day with a sweet gift. Or it could be that time you were able to change a flat tire on your own, moving away from the pain of being stranded on the side of a road. Okay, this can be literally anything, as long as it's related to the common purpose of your tribe, which, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch my last YouTube video about building a VIP tribe or building your loyal following. Okay, so you want to relate it to the common purpose of your tribe. So think about a moment in time that you were able to move away from pain or move towards pleasure. Okay, and then what was it that you actually learned? What did you learn when you went through that journey? This is really important, because this is how you flip into being the guide, and now you make your story contextual to your audience, to your hero. Okay, so you cannot miss this step. This was something that I had to learn to do as well, to keep my stories super focused. Okay, I know that if I didn't know what the end point was, you know, from the very beginning when I was actually writing my content would be a rambling mess. It just would be, okay, because I didn't know where I was trying to end up. So, and I'm going to be honest, okay, sometimes my content can still be a little bit of a rambling mess, okay. I'm still working on this myself, okay. I am still, you know, I'm talking about being the guide, but I'm still also I'm on that hero journey with you, okay. So that's the thing, right? You need to know that end point though, so that you can actually be able to guide your hero towards that same end point, okay. So let me know if that's cool. Okay, so then that leads me to my third and last secret, which is the PreHeros Journey. Okay, so how do we write this? How do we actually write your PreHeros Journey? So we take what the learning was. Okay, so from the second secret, what was that perspective, that particular angle that we want to take on the subject matter, and then we start back at the beginning. So at the beginning, what were you doing, thinking, and feeling at the beginning of the story? And then what prompted you to actually start to explore a change? What were you doing, thinking, and feeling then? What was in your way? What obstacles came up for you that made that change a little bit harder? Okay, what were you doing, thinking, and feeling at that point? Okay, and then what did you do to overcome that obstacle? What happened? What was the result? What were you doing, thinking, and feeling then? Okay, that is how you tell the story. But then you're not done, okay? You're not done, because you've just told your pre-hero story. You then need to flip it into the guide. And to do this, you need to now share what you actually learned from that journey. Okay, so what was your realization? What was your change in perspective? Okay, that is what you want to be talking about and doing. So the person that you were at the pre-hero part of the story, it's going to be different to who you are now. to who you are from the guide, because you went through that process, you went through that journey, you went through those thoughts and those feelings and the things that you actually did, and now you're a different person. And then because you're a different person and because you've learned the things that you did during that journey, that's what makes you actually capable and experienced enough to become the guide. Okay, that's it, just because you've been through it. So let me know if that's cool. Now, there are some stories that might not make sense to talk about, where it might not make sense to talk about your product. And I just want you to know that that is totally okay. Okay, do not try to shoehorn your product in if it does not make sense. Okay, because again, you don't want to come off as just selling. Right now, you're just giving value. You're giving value to your community, to your audience, because this is how you connect. This is how you become known, liked, and trusted. And then once people, as I said, open their hearts up to you, that's when they will start to open their wallets up to you. Because again, good content is something that reads and feels like valuable information. So as long as you've provided that, provided valuable information, which again goes back to your broader common purpose that you're actually building your tribe around, then you are already building a relationship with your audience, one that they will value, because you're not just making it about you. Okay, you're making it about them. You're making it about the hero of your story. But there might be plenty of times where your product is a natural player in your story, and then that's cool. That's awesome. You want to be making sure that your product plays a part. But if I'm going to be honest, I don't want you to stress out about how much you do or don't talk about your product. Okay, so let me know, guys. Let me know in the comments if type a got it in there, if that's all making sense. It's just going to be one of those things. It's going to be one of those things that you're going to have to just do it. Okay, you're going to have to try it, put it out there. But the more that you do this, the more that you will build a muscle around it. And I promise you that it will become easier and more natural the more that you do it. Okay, you just need to start doing it. That's what you need to do. Okay, so let's just quickly recap. Now, there are 3 secrets to creating content stories that sell. The first secret is to know who the characters are in your story. Okay, so your customer is the hero, always. You are the pre-hero that flips into the guide that will guide your hero to get to where it is that they want to get to. The second secret is to know your end point. Okay, what is the realization or perspective that you actually have on this particular topic? Think about a moment in time that you were able to move away from pain or move towards pleasure. And what did you actually learn during that journey? Because that is then what will anchor the third secret, which is your pre-hero's journey. Okay, and how I want you to think through this is, what were you doing, thinking, and feeling at the beginning of the story? And then what prompted you to start to explore a change? Okay, what were you doing, thinking, and feeling then? And then what was in your way? What was an obstacle that was in your way? And then what were you doing, thinking, and feeling at that point when something came up? And then what did you actually do to overcome that obstacle? Okay, what happened? What was the result? What were you thinking, feeling, and doing at that point? So, and then share what you actually learned from the journey. Okay, what was your realization? What was that change in perspective? That is your pre-hero story. And then you flip into the guide and you then now share, as I do, the top 3 secrets or the top 3 tips or whatever it is that you can help your hero. Okay, so with that said, comment below and tell me, as a reminder, who is the hero of your story? Let me know in the comments. Now you know exactly how to create content that connects and sells to your audience through content storytelling. And hopefully you're using my foolproof 3 secret method that I've just taken you through. But what about implementing? Because I know that this is a lot to take in. So what I've done is I've actually written a 1-page cheat sheet for you about everything I've just spoken about. Now, if you want to get your hands on that, then just click on the link below. It's free, and Dee, the bot, will shoot it over to you. And if you want to take what I've just taught you, what you've just learned, to that next level, then come and join this free community of amazing female entrepreneurs just like you, these growth hackers, where I share even more free live training on growing your e-commerce business. So go ahead and join my Facebook group on the link below. I want you to come and go and check out this video next over here on how to build your loyal tribe, and then this one down here on how to plan your content in less than 30 minutes. And if you like this video, hit that like button, be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. And I cannot wait to see you in the next video.